what was it that transpired in that town we visited a few sessions ago? It's happened to me, and chances are it's happened to you too. An important plot point of your campaign connects to something that happened in the past, and the players simply can't remember what it was. There are a lot of things going on a D&D campaign, and the truth is, it's easy for players to get distracted, especially when they don't care that much about their quest goals. The best way to get my players hooked up is by making sure they're playing an exciting adventure that actually matters for the characters they've built. But how do I do that? Well, here are 5 takeaways to encourage your players to truly explore your adventure plot. 4 things to consider before your D&D group creates characters or adventures. Campaign length. It's okay if someone needs to drop off, but when we pledge together for a certain amount of time or sessions, everyone tends to do whatever they can to meet that pledge. Play style. A common ground on the mix of storytelling, role-playing, combat, and exploration is key to designing adventures and characters that fit our preferences and encourage full player engagement. Game mood. Drama or comedy, adventure or realism, heroism or moral ambiguity. How much mature content? Discussing the game mood ensures everyone is 100% comfortable at our table. Adventure genre. D&D covers genres such as epic, mystery, horror, war, science fiction, steampunk, and others. Openly talking about all that ensures that our group is on the same page. It prevents players from building Bobbling the Goblin or Grok the Orc, only to be frustrated that their characters don't fit what we'll play. It's easier to engage your D&D players when you use multiple plots in your adventures. Multiple plots bring additional layers to your adventure, making players more curious and excited about how the story will unfold, especially if the different plots converge at some point. Multiple plots create tension and suspense, raising the player's interest and engagement with the adventure story. When the adventure begins, some of my subplots are usually in the background, but as my players advance in the story, those subplots start to come to the front stage and reveal themselves to be much more connected to the main plot than they initially seemed. That allows my players to uncover some unexpected plot twists and surprises throughout the adventure, involving them more and more as the story develops. Using multiple plots in my adventures encourages my players to put all the story pieces together, making them more excited and invested in each of our game sessions. Here's what makes your D&D players say, "This time it's personal" in your adventures. Every D&D player sees the adventure world through their character's eyes, creating a subtle but profound psychological process of identification, projection, and transference. When their characters pursue something that is closely tied to their goals and motivations, the story becomes more meaningful for the players, and they become emotionally connected with the adventure. That's why I like to establish personal connections between my adventures and campaigns with each of the characters' backstories and individual plots. That's what creates an immersive storytelling experience and provides numerous role-playing opportunities for all of them. That's what makes our adventures genuinely relevant and unique, instead of a random side quest to assist someone they've never heard of. That's when my players say, "Now it's personal," and I immediately put a smile on my face because I know they're completely involved with my adventure. 3 ways D&D players build characters and what makes them shine in your adventures. The flavor approach. Players who focus on unexpected and appealing character designs which reflect on their stats and abilities. Such players have a clear description for their characters, including their looks, what they wear, preferred weapons, and fighting style. The personality approach. Players who envision how they will roleplay their characters. They think about their characters' quirks, flaws, temper, posture, and manner of speaking. The backstory approach. Players who are most interested in creating rich storytelling elements for their characters, including detailed backstories, goals, and motivations. They end up handing the DM adventure hooks, plots, and NPCs that can be easily plugged into the campaign. Understanding the approach used by each player helps to infer their priorities within the game, and with that in mind, we can think of situations that will create cool opportunities for each of them to shine in our adventures. You know what to do to make your players say, "I can't wait for our next D&D session"? It's no surprise that players are open for DMs to tie their characters' backstories, goals, and motivations with the campaign plot. Players who build characters focusing on their personality or role-playing, or flavor, species, class, and stats, tend to be eager for additional backstories. They know that creates opportunities for them to shine while remaining true to their initial design. For players who build rich backstories, I do the other way around. I integrate what they've created as additional hooks, plots, and NPCs into my campaign. Genuinely connecting their characters with my story plots is a huge step toward creating immersive adventures. It makes the adventure goals their own and sets their characters as the stars of the show. That's when I usually hear them say, "I can't wait for our next session." So that's what I always try to do. First, I make sure everyone is on the same page about what we'll play. Second, I think of multiple plots to make my adventure more interesting. Then, I tie the characters into my adventure plots. For that, I first understand how each player built their characters. That helps me to understand when to suggest additions to their backstories and when to bring elements from their backstories into my campaign. When I do that, my adventures become close and personal to my players and their characters. It becomes a memorable and engaging storytelling experience that encourages players to truly explore my adventure plot. And that will make it harder for them to forget something important that went by a few sessions ago.